Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the latest episode of What's News. Joining me in the virtual studio, he is the longest laster, the master of disaster. He is the moderator of the Nation Network, Big JH, and joining us as well, it wouldn't be a party without D-Train in the house. All right, how's everybody doing out there? Gentlemen, you can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Hey. All right, we're going to make life easy for you guys that want to join in on the live chat. I'm going to drop a link in here if this works. There we have it. All you got to do is join us on Skype, and you can chime in on any of the topics. We just ask that we don't talk over each other. You might have to close your mic if we don't call on you yet. Otherwise, we get some of that feedback stuff. So we're going to try and moderate this as best we can on this end at the same time. But we got a bunch of news to talk about, more than I even knew about until the three of us started chatting a little while ago. And I said, we got to go live with this. So that's where we're at right now. So here we go. Let's kick things off. Sonny. Not good news for the Hall of Famer, soon-to-be ex-Hall of Famer, I am sure. Who was the one that broke the news to me?
That would be me.
All right. Well, tell everybody what you told me.
Well, I can try to look up the report. I won't read the entire thing, but basically she was involved in a three-car accident somewhere in Florida on March 25th. It was a three-car crash, and some people were hospitalized. One person was hospitalized and ended up passing away in the situation, and basically waiting on results to see if she was indeed intoxicated at the time.
What are the odds?
And the reports are she was driving extremely fast.
Yeah,
She
so
obviously had a bad history with driving. She's got the list is pretty long. She's got expired license. A lot of stuff on her record, so not too good.
yeah, I mean, we don't like to see bad things happen to anybody, no matter how messed up they may be. But when a 75-year-old man is dead now, and it's possibly, I mean, we don't know. Look, we know that there were plenty of witnesses according to the TMZ report, and I know that they're a valid source of information. But plenty of witnesses to say she was driving erratically, high speeds. Clearly, she took out 3 cars, so you have to do something. She was driving in Ormond Beach, Florida, which is not far from where I'm at right now. And this is, as he said, March 25th on U.S. Highway 1. If you've ever been to the Daytona area, that's the main drag that runs up and down along the coastway there. So she was probably less than 5 miles from Daytona Beach, give or take. Crashed a 2012 Mercedes-Benz, and I'm still thinking the big story here is that she had a Mercedes. But anyway, she crashed it into the back of a 2013 Kia Sorento. Now, that's kind of like saying Mike Tyson beat the crap out of Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I'm saying? Not an even match. And it was stopped at a red light, so I'm going to go on record as saying the odds are pretty strong that there's going to be some sort of chemical involvement in this before it's all said and done. The Kia then crashed into a 2011 GMC Yukon, so we have a domino thing going on that was awaiting the green light. And again, 75-year-old man passed away as a result of the accident. Sitch has been hospitalized with unknown injuries. She was allegedly seen driving at a high rate of speed by 2 witnesses before crashing into the Kia. The police documents state that a blood sample was taken during her hospital visit, but the results are still pending. Toxicology reports could ultimately lead to Sitch facing criminal charges. I don't know how she doesn't get them either way. There's a dead person, so at the very least you have manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter. She's got a huge record. I don't think there's a judge. This is a very conservative state. I don't think she's going to get a judge in Ormond Beach. It's not going to put her away for years. So, Tammy, I don't know what to do, man. What do you say about this? Some folks just don't learn. All right, guys, weigh in on this. In the meantime, we got other folks in there at Blazed. And again, I put a link at the very top of the chat. Hopefully everybody can still see that even if you join late. I think you can go back. And if you want to join the conversation live, just hit us up on that link. You'll be thrown into the Skype room with us, and we'll bring you guys up. So, go ahead. Somebody say something. What you thinking about Tammy right now?
Go ahead, Kate.
Well, I think it's just like, it's just crazy, man. Like, the whole story of Sunny as a person is just, it's just indescribable. You just don't think it would happen. It's just so weird. You think it would have caught up to her sooner rather than this happening. Like, there's many times that I could have believed this was the end of Sunny. And she's just always somehow gotten out of it. But at this point, she has caused a life to be dispersed. Well, I mean, technically two, if we're gonna count Chris or whatever. But still, this is kind of this is rough, man. Today was a rough day for news.
Yeah,
very rough.
And it also brings up
rough.
another good point. How many times before, how many these things that happen with people who are repeat offenders, how many times are you going to keep letting people out that haven't learned their lesson? I'm all about a second chance, but not a fifth. I mean, somebody just lost their dad. Somebody just lost maybe a grandfather.
Let them have a license.
Did she even have a license? That's another good point, too. Definitely,
No.
she shouldn't have a license.
Now, if you look at her history, it says that she's had history of driving without a registration revoked, reckless driving without a license, failure to possess a driver's license, no insurance card, nothing. I mean, she's got a pretty big rap sheet here, just the driving. So I can't imagine who would allow her to drive legally.
Take her cars. How does she afford cars anymore? There's no way she's...
Guys probably giving them to her.
Well, not just a car, dude. She's got a Mercedes. I mean, she ain't made Sunny money in a long time. I don't know. Let's see what the chat room's saying here. And again, if you guys want to join us live on air, just join that Skype link that I've got there in the comment bar, and you can get up here as well. Obviously, you got to have a microphone. You do not need a camera, though, unless that is your microphone, but you can turn off the video part and just keep the audio because that's all we're using. So Blaze says, yeah, she probably needed locked up forever at this point. I agree wholeheartedly. I think it should have happened already. Wi-Fi, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining the stream. Did a new person come out in WWE 2K? When you say come out, that can be taken a lot of different ways, buddy. we had purple paint on. I don't know. He might have come out. Let's see.
Yeah,
WWE releasing Nash Carter, yes.
The status made that one Fiend call with his entrance. I guess that counts.
Yep. So Blaze brings up the Nash Carter thing, which is something else we were going to talk about right here. WWE has made it very clear they don't play when it comes to this. So at this point, if somebody doesn't get it, I just don't know what to say. I mean, you can't pull this crap. They're not going to keep you around. And now they're stripping, and it'll be interesting to see how they go from here with it, but they are stripping the tag team titles.
The Rascals went from like one of the biggest, like, what's the word? I guess like attractions to like Impact, and then they had to go their separate ways because for some reason Triple H was like, I don't want the third one. No, Trey Miguel,
We
you
got the
stay in
Leisure House party.
Impact.
We got the Leisure House party. We don't need another Mexican on the roster.
Yeah, so
Sorry. Sorry.
and so now if they had taken Trey, they probably wouldn't have to deal with this crap. They could have just put Trey with Nash, but no.
They could have done
No, they say
Freebird rule every time.
yeah. This is why trios teams are always like better options for stuff, because if one of the other guys gets hurt, anything, you can just easily substitute.
Whenever Terry Gordy would go to Japan,
This is just a fuck situation.
Yep. All right.
Nash Carter.
Let's just make sure one thing. We don't want to talk over each other. Otherwise, nobody's going to hear anything.
Nash Carter didn't deserve this.
I agree. Cade Welch joining the party, right?
Like,
What's happening, man? So what you weighing in on? Which topic or topics?
I'm talking about the Nash Carter stuff. Like, the Rascals were very nice, but obviously they kind of lost a lot of their value, a lot of their chemistry when Trey left, because it went from a trios to a duo, right? And that's always going to be a little bit different, you know. You can't really have like the Freebirds with just, you know, friggin' PSAs and then Gordy or whatever. You got to have at least 3 of them. You know, it's kind of like that. But you know, when you just like, they were doing fine. It was all fine, and then they won the tag titles again. Big Mania moment. And of course, apparently Nash's wife and him have been doing a lot of, are in a lot of spats or whatever, and we've had abuse allegations, we've had divorce.
I don't know if they're allegations anymore.
Therapy,
those pictures are pretty brutal.
Couples therapy, a lot of stuff, and now we're just at a point where we knew Nash apparently has been living with Lashley and his wife to get away from his Kimberly, and Wes's wife has been like filling us in on like his side of the story, because obviously Nash isn't going to use WWE Twitter account to, you know, respond to abuse allegations and stuff like that. And it's very like indicting on like Kimberly's side of the story, because Wes's wife is just like, he's been living with us for like the past month because he's been fed up with her. And then just today started with Wes's wife saying on Twitter that he sent her that Nash had sent his wife divorce stuff, right? He was divorcing her fully. And then that's when Kimberly pulled out her one last ace up her sleeve, which was a 8-year-old Snapchat photo of mid-shave with like a Hitler stash, right? Doing a Nazi salute. And that's what, like, everyone's bringing up the abuse photos. And the thing is, that's not entirely concrete, because, you know, Kimberly's a wrestler. She takes bumps for a living. You can't, you know, there's a correlation. Are those bumps or are those actual stuff, right? So there was a little, you know,
but I mean, her face.
Maybe not definitive.
You don't generally see a busted open lip. I'm not saying they don't occasionally happen, but her injuries are definitely, from the pictures I've seen, are not synonymous with a traditional wrestling match. Could they have happened? Possibly. Do I think that's what happened? No, I think her boyfriend, fiance, hauled off and backhanded her or something to that effect, especially when there is a track record of that having happened in the past.
And I do not think WWE released Nash because of the abuse allegations, because
I do.
If that was true, then why is Matt Riddle, Austin Theory, and Gable Stevenson still in the company, huh? You know?
Well, all right. What do we have on those 3 guys? Is anyone posting pictures of their faces busted up?
Gable Stevenson literally raped a girl.
Again,
and got away with it.
How do we know that? You weren't there, I wasn't there, so what evidence do we actually have?
There was a legal battle over it.
A legal battle, which he's a free man right now, so I'm going to go on a limb and say he was proven not guilty. If he's...
Yeah, through a loophole. A loophole. You know, it's like...
I look at it this way. Mike Tyson spent time in jail, and I don't condone violence, especially against men against women, but when you're Desiree Washington and you're meeting the world champion who's the hottest commodity in the world at that time, Mike Tyson, and he invites you at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning to go back to his hotel room with him, you are a moron if you don't think there's sex planned. Now, you still have the right to say no and change your mind, but I'm just saying, don't expect that there's no expectation under certain circumstances. You've got, unless you're completely naive, you have to understand you're responsible to a certain degree for your own safety in the positions you put yourself in. We all are. I'm not going to walk down Harlem at 1 o'clock in the morning because my odds of getting out alive aren't very good. And I just know that. So if you're going back to the hotel room with Mike Tyson at 1, you better be ready for some sex. And if not, don't go with him. So that's all I'm saying. Now, that's not a loophole to me. That's a matter of you put yourself in a situation where there's an expectation. And, yeah, you have the right to say no, but he's saying you didn't say no. So now it's your word versus his word.
What?
And again, I don't know Gable Stevens' deal at all. I have no backstory on that. This is the first I heard of that stuff. And knowing the WWE with their image issues, I would have to believe if they thought there was credibility to the story, they wouldn't be dealing with him. But what do I know? That's why it's What's News.
With rape, right? Is because he was also drunk. And apparently in the state of Minnesota or whatever, if you're drunk, it doesn't count as rape.
Were they both drunk?
Yes, but Gableson.
Does he
Gable had?
Did he admit that
But
she
Gable
didn't?
had.
Go ahead.
The woman was drunk before Gable, and then he got drunk, and then did it.
Okay, did she say, or did he say that she said no? I'm sure the question came up, okay, in a court trial, that at some point in time, did the defendant tell you?
No, like when a woman is drunk, when a woman's drunk, they can't verbally consent. You can't go near that.
In that particular state,
that's
perhaps.
what I'm saying.
Perhaps. I don't know their state laws, and I'm not going to pretend I do. What I'm asking is this. In a trial, there's no way that the prosecuting attorney is not asking him the question, at any point in time, did she tell you she didn't want to continue? Now, my question is, did he ever answer that question by saying, yes, she did it, but I was drunk and I didn't think she meant it? Okay, did anything even close to that come out of his mouth? Or do we know the answer to that?
I assume there was something there. I don't have like the full court transcript. I have the
All right.
summary. You
So,
know what I'm saying? Like,
and my thought is this: if he did say anything even remotely close to that, then the WWE wouldn't be touching him. So, I think maybe two people got drunk, and maybe he did, physically overpower somebody. But again, without knowing, I wasn't in court. I haven't looked up anything in documents and what was said, what wasn't said. I just have a hard time believing the WWE would be touching him if he ever admitted in any way that she said, no, stop, I don't want to, anything along those lines. Now, that said,
well, I believe,
she may not have said those words until after the fact. We're just too quick in this country to condemn people.
Court case, right? Yeah, I believe the court case happened after he had signed the contract. It wasn't but the allegations were there. They were there when he was at the Olympics, right?
Right, and the WWE would not have signed him until it all cleared through. But I just don't buy that. They have to have enough knowledge.
Yeah,
maybe it isn't public yet.
After the Olympics.
Right, and they would have released him immediately.
The allegations came out, right? Well, the allegations came out during the Olympics, but they weren't big allegations because, again, he's just an Olympic athlete. He wasn't a big name yet.
It doesn't matter.
They kind of picked up.
You're going to represent the United States of America on a national stage. Even the U.S. Olympic Committee wouldn't want that happening.
Yeah. Then they picked up steam after he brought back a medal or whatever. Right?
Yeah, because now he's got name recognition.
Yeah, there's name recognition to the allegation, right? He gets signed, right? Because WWE wants the name recognition of Gable Stevenson, right?
Not if it comes at the result of rape.
Yeah. And then that's when the official court case happens, and it feels a little tone deaf to me. I feel like they definitely should have dropped him at this point. He might have gotten out because of a loophole, but I would not want that guy on my roster.
Well, again,
we're gonna drop Nash.
What's that?
There's too much litigation there. It's like Jerry Lawler in the '90s. Get rid of him.
He got fired
just for a little bit
by WWE for a little while, or suspended.
Who's that?
Jerry Lawler. Remember he's taking off.
Yeah,
the whole pedophilia thing.
Yeah, I do recall something to do with that.
Because Shawn Michaels replaced him in
Honestly, it is a
in that night's match
yeah.
against the Hearts because of it. But they never mentioned it on TV or anything, but they took him off.
Well, yeah, was that when he was with that cat girl?
I don't know her name.
Kitty, Miss Kitty, or whatever it was. She was a cute
It
little
was
thing.
a 13-year-old. It was like a 14-year-old girl. That
Oh,
Lawler
that's
had
way
been
back.
in relations with.
That's
That-
age of consent in
Yeah,
Tennessee,
93.
Yeah, that's an old story there. I don't know whatever came of it, but
He
All
got
right.
out because of like another
But,
loophole, his
Did y'all
legal system.
well, here's what I got
Did
to say
y'all
on
see
that.
Rick-
What's that? Go ahead.
Did y'all see Rick Steiner last night get kidnapped on NXT?
No, I didn't watch
He
NXT.
did get kidnapped. They do
Well-
be kidnapping a lot of people on NXT for some reason.
He got kidnapped by Joe Gacy and Harlan because Joe Gacy's gonna be the next contender for Braun Breaker's championship.
And I don't even know who that is.
And also Walter lost. And apparently Walter's going to the main roster with Fabian Eichner. But not Marcel because one Imperium is splitting up, like the tag guys of Imperium. And then one of them is going with Walter to the main roster. And then the other one's gonna stay in NXT, I guess.
Mm.
Probably get repackaged.
I don't know. I think they dropped the
He's
ball a
already
lot.
Gunther.
They do a lot of work on NXT to build up
About the other
characters.
guy.
They build up a character on NXT, and then they bring them to the main event, and they squash them. And they've been doing it for so damn long now. I don't think they're going to do it with Rex Steiner, per se. But you look at going back as far as the Ascension. They were the new LOD, man, and it was working. They were dominant in NXT. They were believable in NXT. The fans were behind them in NXT. They bring them into Raw week 1, and they squash them to the aged Degeneration X. And I just shook my head going, what? You jobbed them out to the 50-year-olds? And it never got any better after
I
that.
don't really like that segment was bad over.
The whole time they were on the main roster was
I
bad.
think it would have worked if like next week they'd come out and then they beat them up. You can have the legends get their on main guys, but then just have them up later.
I don't know. All right, listen, we're going to turn the page.
It's not that hard of a thing to do.
We're going to turn the page here real quick. Blaze brought up a story I didn't know about either, and this might be really recent, which is Leila Hirsch of AEW just got injured in a match taping. Don't know anything more than that. And Blaze, if you're still with us,
Yeah.
if you have any more than that, let me know. I'm going to check the Google machine here real quick and see what it says. Leila Hirsch.
Did a moonsault during the dark taping that went bad.
Yeah, now the question is how bad is bad? AEW's got, I think, a pretty high injury risk. Their insurance has got to be...
Yeah, but at the very least, they ain't running a house show, so they don't. They run minimal dates, so even if they do get injured, it's not like
All right, I've actually got
that bad of a deal.
got some news on it here. Let's see what it pulls up. Leila Hirsch injured during AEW Dark Elevation tapings. It looks like she injured her knee prior to tonight's Dynamite. Okay, well, that's a little bit different. Appeared to be injured during a match. Oh, yeah, because they tape that before they go to Dynamite, yeah.
So speaking of Dynamite tonight, who's looking forward to the Young Bucks versus FTR?
Yeah, that's a good match. Let me finish hers real quick, though. She was facing a local competitor when she appeared to injure her knee on a somersault flip out of the corner during a match that was taped for Dark. She landed feet first and went down as soon as she landed, so she probably stuck the landing too hard, it sounds like. Grabbing her knee, the match was immediately stopped, and Hirsch was helped to the back. In recent weeks, Hirsch has undergone a character change, yeah, it's true. She just turned her against former friend Chris Statlander and Red Velvet. After attacking them with a steel chair backstage, she defeated Statlander at the AEW Revolution buy-in pre-show back in March after using a weapon. And on March 23rd edition of Dynamite, she defeated Red Velvet in a singles match. Her most recent match aired on March 30th edition of Elevation, where she defeated Ella Envy. So, obviously, I was actually kind of liking her as a heel. I was digging the role. And she's got a good look to her. She's a little bit on the short side, but she's so stocky and powerful. You can pull it off in an Ivan Putski kind of way. So hopefully it's not a bad injury. It's something that she can come back from relatively quickly. And they'll probably have it on Dark. I don't know. They tend to, like when I was there the night that what's his name? The Killer Hawk or the, what's his name? The guy Jake Roberts was managing for a little bit there in AEW.
Oh, Lance Archer.
Lance Archer, thank you. I was there the night he did the moonsault and landed on his freaking head, and it looked brutal then.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They've got a history of guys and girls getting pretty banged up. So I don't know if it's a lack of training or I don't know. It just seems like you're over the average number. And yeah, Blaze says it just happened a few minutes ago, which that would make sense. Because Dark is taped immediately before Dynamite.
We got Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
We've
Samoa
got
Joe
now.
It is good to have Samoa Joe in a wrestling role, no less.
We're gonna get a Max Caster rap against him on his first match.
Well, before we get into Dynamite, let's give a quick shout out. Actually, what were you? Somebody was bringing up a match when we started talking about Hirsch. Oh, the Young Bucks match.
Oh, yeah, against the FTR. I believe the ROH tag titles are on the line tonight, too.
Oh, that's good. Well, yeah, they can do all that now because they own both.
Yeah.
It would behoove them to do that. So, all right. Well, yeah, that should be a good match. It should be. And I hope that they do the right thing and don't put the Bucks over again. They got to build FTR, man. FTR came over there on a promise, I think, that hasn't been fulfilled yet. And hopefully that changes because they are a really solid tag team. They should get the opportunity, in my opinion, to have a dominant run, just like a Demolition or New Day. I mean, I think they wrestle circles around New Day. New Day are a very entertaining couple of guys, or trio, depending on which brand you're going with. But I just think so far as wrestling is concerned, and AEW is more about the wrestling than the entertainment, which is good, because you can entertain through wrestling, by the way, surprise, if you do it right. And they definitely do it better than the WWE, in my opinion. So hopefully they give these guys the opportunity that they rightfully deserve. Looking back at what happened on Monday Night Raw, Sasha Banks and Naomi defeated Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan via pinfall. Thoughts?
Stupid stipulation. Why were the champions in a contenders match against somebody who's contending for trying to be contenders? Didn't make any sense whatsoever, especially after what happened later on.
At the end of the match?
She just asked for a match, and then you get a title match next week.
Well, not only that.
Obvious.
They've been doing that for like months now, where it's like it's contenders match, but it's just a non-title match against the champion, and it's like, why?
So
and it's so obvious they're going to split up.
Yeah, well, that's the issue for me. They have been really well received by the fans, and unless WWE has their head that far up their ass that they don't read any of this, fans are loving that team. And already you see the waves parting at the end of the match, and she kind of walks off and leaves Liv in the ring. And I'm like, are you seriously going to break them up already? They just got together, and the fans are loving them. And this is WWE in a nutshell. I mean, even if that was the plan, was that you were going to have them eventually break up and maybe feud with each other, not that soon. You got to build up the camaraderie for at least 6 to 8 months before you can get a feud out of it. I just think it's stupid, ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. All right, moving on.
It's
this
WWE booking.
Well, we're about to talk some more. Oh God.
Yes.
Ezekiel interrupted Kevin Owens' promo. Owens was, going off on the loss to Steve Austin, and it only happened because Owens came in with a back injury. All of a sudden, he's like, I had a back injury. It should have an asterisk there that I wasn't at 100%. And Ezekiel comes into the ring, and Owens looks at him and he says, Elias? Is that you? No. I'm not Elias. I'm his little brother, Ezekiel. And he laughed him right off. He laughed it right off. And he's like, no, you're not. And it is that funny for the rest of us, too. So you've got, and I never liked the Elias thing. I'm going to be the first one to say it, but I like this less. Ezekiel, to me, is a step above Eugene. The outfit he has on, the gimmicky look on his face. This is reeking of bad 90s. And the WWE
think
has
the
too
main-
much of that. Go ahead.
I think the main bad bit about the gimmick is that, like, Elias's gear, he's had this for months now. This was in his 22 render, right? Like, when they were revealing the roster. But they changed it when the game came out, right?
Yep.
But they made him shave the beard because this is according to backstage reports. Vince didn't like the initial, like him wearing the gear initially, because it made him look too much like Macho Man. And to that I say, just change the gear then.
No,
change the gear.
I got a better one. Let him come out, and this would work. This I could deal with. Remember when the Big Show was a different guy every week? He was the Hulk Hogan, the Big Hogan or whatever, Show Hogan, or Hulk Show, whatever the hell it was. And then the next week he was this guy. Next week he was that guy.
The showster.
And it was all good. And then we've seen Santino come out and play different characters over time. You should have brought him in like he had a concussion. He woke up thinking he's the Macho Man. That would friggin' work.
Why can't we make Elias white machismo?
Yeah, I mean,
the
Andy,
Jay Lethal gimmick, brother.
because he would with the beard and mustache, he could have resembled Randy. So you have him do one last Elias match. He's in a backstage brawl. He falls. He hits his head. He's hospitalized. He comes back, and he thinks he's the Macho Man. Who would not have that? You want your entertainment anyway, and it's stupid anyway. But that would be entertaining. And it's an over-the-top story, and everybody can do a Macho Man impression. It's not hard. I guarantee you he can probably do a good one. That would work.
The Macho Man impression things is literally a storyline in AEW right now. It's not that hard to do it. Elias, do it.
No, and Blaze brings up a good point in the chat room that Rhea is rumored, and I think we talked about this yesterday maybe, is rumored to be joining Edge's faction and possibly Ciampa too. So I've heard that. What I said about it yesterday is Ciampa won't fit in that picture. He's too small to work in that picture for me. Rhea would be perfect in that group, but I still kind of wanted her doing her own thing with the tag team scene with Liv. I think that was a good fit for her, but she'll probably do better if she is partnered with Edge and Damian Priest, and that's a good look. Those three together is a good look. I just think Ciampa is just too small.
Put Liv in the stable, though. Like, there's an easy solution. Just put Liv in the Edge faction, too. It's not going to be that hard of a sell.
She doesn't fit, though.
No more than Tommaso Ciampa does. It's just, I don't see that. Now, maybe those two will kind of do their own thing, and she'll be in his corner or something. I don't know. We'll figure.
Yeah.
But I do like Rhea being in there with those two guys. I do think that would be a really dynamic group, and you could do a lot of damage with that. Jamon Scott joining us here in the chat room. Jamon, not much. If you go to the top, you'll see the pinned link if you want to jump on board with us. We are in the Skype room.
I feel bad for the Ezekiel character, though, for him, because it's probably just a matter of time. Give it 6 months, and he's going to be on the chopping block. I hope I'm wrong.
Well, unless they listen to this. If they listen to this stream, they might actually get an idea. Hey, let's make him read a Macho Man. Hey, pal, how would you like to be Randy Savage, huh?
I'm surprised he wasn't on the chopping.
I think he was.
He was doing nothing for 6 months.
No, I think this is a last-ditch effort to try and do something with him, but I think this idea we just came up with is a whole lot better. Hey, man, keep on watching our programming here. You never know. Sometimes we do what they don't. I'm liking this idea more every minute. All right, next match on Raw. The Miz went up against and defeated Dominic Mysterio via pinfall with the skull-crushing finale. Very quick, and that led to the debut of Veer Mahan.
It doesn't matter because Veer came.
Yeah.
Came.
Veer Mahan. Didn't care for the guy, to be honest with you.
Put the world title on him already.
You think? I don't know.
Yes, I think.
Well, we'll see.
I think they should.
First impression didn't bowl me over. I mean, he's a big, tough guy, no doubt about that. But we'll see. Yeah, he's got to be able to do a
Who
promo.
else could dethrone Roman Reigns but this new modern-day Maharaja, Veer Mahan?
Yeah, well, Roman Reigns already been dethroned, so that's not an issue anymore. Oh, not Roman. Sorry, I thought you were saying Brock. Because, well, we'll see. Roman hasn't yet shown up on Raw, so we'll see if he's going to be doing both shows. I'm sure he's got to if he has the unified championship. Bianca Belair celebrated winning the Raw Women's Championship from Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Belair, who was sporting a nasty black eye from the match. There were some injuries that took place in the last 6 days that were legit. Cody Rhodes' head looked a mess after his match. Anyway, she said she was ready to defend against anyone and everyone now that she was back on top. No big deal there. I'm not a Bianca fan, especially with that whole hair gimmick. That is, I think, not her athletic ability, not her presence. I mean, she's got a good look. She's got an athletic build. She can do shit in the ring. But that stupid hair gimmick, it just makes me flip the channel. That, again, just my personal taste. But then we had the NXT Championship match. Braun Breaker going up against and defeating the champion Dolph Ziggler. I'm not happy about that at all. Anybody else?
Literally like 3 matches from NXT Stand and Deliver do not matter anymore as of tonight because Braun lost, but then he won 2 days later.
Yeah. And it's not good for the title either to change hands.
Went to Dakota.
You don't want your
The
title
women's tag
changing
titles
hands
went
back
to
and forth
Dakota.
like that.
Yeah. The women's titles went to Dakota and Raquel at Stand Deliver, and then Toxic Attraction won them back on NXT on Tuesday. MSK won the tag belts in a Fatal 4-Way, and now they're going to probably be vacated. One of them is fired.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I'm wondering. Will they be vacated, or are they going to allow him to pick his own partner now? You can go either way with that based on wrestling history. And if that were the case, who would he pick as a partner? No, exactly, and that's why you can do that. So, and are they even going to acknowledge any part of why the titles are either being stripped or partner being swapped out? Are they going to even touch on?
Yeah,
I mean, you're breaking up.
Yeah, it's so weird. They could have done an angle on the show, like they knew about the stuff for like a little bit. They could have done an angle.
Well, the minute that picture came out, they're not going to put that guy on camera again. And any film in the can that might not have aired.
They did.
After it came out?
Yeah, he was on the NXT after that picture came out. They had a promo.
Wow. Well, I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah.
Because after Chris Benoit, it's like they don't play.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it was the pictures that got him. I think it was what after Kimberly got the divorce papers when she posted him that 8-year-old Snapchat thing of him with like a Hitler stash doing the Nazi salute. Which if you fire him for that, fire JBL for doing that exact thing at a house show like 12 years ago.
I have never been a JBL fan. I liked the team, him and Ron Simmons as the APA, but he always struck me as a douche. And then when you start hearing the stories, do you realize he might really be a douche? I try not to judge someone I've never even met, but I just my feeling about him is not good. So
a lot of the guys that had like I'm a badass gimmick, they always turn out to be like just assholes, somewhat like.
I guess it depends. I mean, I think when Austin... Look at MJF, for example. I mean, he's the biggest asshole in the world. That's his character, right? Then you go to an autograph signing. He's still an asshole to you, but you know he's playing with you. He's in his character. He's in his role. I think he's probably one of the coolest guys you'll ever hang out with. And he's a smart guy. I'll tell you what, for a 24 years old, this guy's smart, man. He gets it. And he's so open about it. It's about money. When my contract runs out, and oh, by the way, here's the date it happens on, I am not re-signing with AEW. I am going to take offers.
He's gonna get like a world title, like as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't think here's my prediction. I don't know that the AEW puts the world title on him if he doesn't extend his contract, and here's why. If you put it on him, let's say next year to make him happy, or in the next 12 months to make him happy, and to appease him and to say, hey, we made you world champion. He's made it very clear, and I believe every word coming out of his mouth. He won't resign until he takes the offers that are out there to him. We all know the WWE can outspend the AEW because the Khans have money, but they don't have McMahon money, okay? And Vince, the same way he took Cody, and I don't know if anyone's ever heard what the dollar amount is, but we know it's insane. If he did it with Cody, you don't think he'll do it with a young, up-and-coming talent that's got a decade left on him? Of course he will. And it's a main AEW roster guy that's going to hurt them.
Plus, the network wants MJF there, not just WWE. I heard the networks want him over on their channel.
Sure, because he's ratings.
Yep, exactly.
Everybody wants ratings.
That plays a part big time. Remember when CM Punk was supposed to return?
Yep.
WWE was in talks. The networks were going to pay CM Punk's contract.
Yep. And Punk wouldn't return just because he really, at the end of the day, I don't think he liked the WWE. He didn't have a good experience there. And he just wasn't going to subject himself to that again. You can't blame the guy. I mean, they didn't do right by him from all the reports that I've ever heard. And even what we saw as fans, how they kind of treated him on the way out the door. I didn't think that was very cool.
Yeah, he personally considered him leaving Ring of Honor to be the time he left professional wrestling, not the 20 Rumble. He doesn't. Punk probably does not care that much about the WWE run at this point. There's a lot of missed opportunities there, especially now that Austin is sort of back. But at the end of the day, he's in AEW now. He's probably gonna be hanging, whatever. So he's probably just doing fine. He's loving life.
He's got things that he wants the way he wants them. But I'll tell you, he reminds me so much of 1985, 84, 85, 86 Roddy Piper. It just, man, that's all I keep seeing. Every time I see him, that same cockiness, he's not the biggest guy in the room, but he doesn't understand that. And he does the same smack talk, and then he'll back down and avoid the conflict and just keep on building it because you want to see him get in the ring, get his ass kicked. Well, you're going to pay for that. You want to see it, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see that Wardlow match against MJF. That'll be very. That's going to be very.
They're not going to put Wardlow over him. No way. That ain't going to happen.
I don't know. I think Wardlow's taken enough losses because of MJF that I think.
Do you think they're going to put a world title on Wardlow?
At least once.
On Wardlow, do you think they're going to put a world title?
He definitely is. He's world championship material. I do believe that. Look at the size of that man.
So you think he puts enough eyes on the TV screen compared to MJF? Because that's what this comes down to. Which one is going to get the better quarter-hour rating? A match featuring Wardlow and anybody else, or MJF and anybody else?
MJF's too hot.
I'm not saying they both can't have the world title at some point. I'm just saying.
I think after MJF goes and signs with the WWE, he might get it. I don't know. I'm liking Wardlow a little bit more now than I did, but I still haven't seen him do anything with a promo. If you can't cut a real promo, that's it. You can't be the world champion. I mean, it's not the 60s and 70s anymore, or even the early 80s. At this point in time, you have got to do something with the stick, and I haven't seen him do anything, so I don't know that he can or can't. But until I see that, he's got the look, yeah. He's got the size, sure. But a lot of guys have that. And they don't know how to move the needle further. So we'll see. Because if you don't have the it factor, and it's not all about the look, that's a big part of it. But you got to have some sort of a personality that brings the fans in. And until they give him a microphone and get him a chance to do something with it, there's that.
Plus, if you look at all the champions AEW's had, you have to be able to have a good 15, 20-minute match at least. Do you think Wardlow can have a good 15, 20-minute match?
Yeah.
No.
He's been doing that for like years at this point. Remember? He did the steel cage match with Cody. He was in that Face of the Revolution
2.0
match.
ain't gonna draw numbers for AEW.
I just love the silent majority in the background. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Wardlow's not ready yet. Maybe in a couple of years.
He's not
as he
ready.
gets more
He's
Yeah.
not
seasoned.
like extremely ready, but he'll be ready in like a year or something. I think so.
Well, time
I'm
will
not
tell.
saying like
Time will tell.
I'm not like saying Brock Anderson is world championship.
Hell, he's not
I'm
even on
saying
TV
Wardlow
anymore.
is. I can't get over the fact that Arn Anderson's son is wrestling, and he's not good. He's not that good.
Well, no, and
That's-
in all
Well,
honesty,
very
they
sad.
need to put him in Ring of Honor. That's where
be
that's going to be
fair.
their developmental program. That's where he needs to be.
Yep.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
drop to Samoa
Arn
Joe when
Anderson
Joe wins the
wasn't good
world
the first
title.
couple of years he wrestled either.
Who's that?
Arn Anderson, he wasn't that good the first couple of years.
Well,
he
yeah.
wrestled.
Most people aren't good the first couple of years. I mean, Jake Paul's a freak. You don't get too many guys that get in the ring in their first match and look
Logan
that good.
Paul.
Logan Paul,
Yeah, Jake
sorry,
hasn't
yeah,
gotten
Logan.
in the ring yet. but
Al-
they teased
Although
his
Jake can
background
probably do that
pre-show.
shit too. They'll come in as a
When's
tag
Bad-
team.
We need another Bad Bunny. We need Bad Bunny to come back and do
Well, I
another
have an update.
match.
Update on what?
Sonny,
Boy, that was quick. What do we got? Breaking news.
one person has been confirmed to be dead in that fatal car crash involving WWE
Oh, yeah.
Hall of Famer Tammy Sitch.
Yeah, we had that. 75-year-old
Yeah,
man.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I thought maybe they already released the drug information. I was like, uh-oh,
That's
here we
what
go.
happened, too.
She'll be going to jail for a while. 'Cause she's on parole right now.
Yeah, no, this is I mean, once the toxicology report comes out, and I don't have a good feeling for her about that, that's just going to be slamming that door shut for the last time. She's going to spend the rest of her days in there. Yakuza Series has a question regarding to the game, which says, we still got a problem with WWE 2K22 Championship belts. Yeah, buddy, I know. And who knows
There's an
if or when
update
it's ever going to
coming
be fixed.
Next week.
Oh, there's another update
There's
next
no-
week?
There's an update coming this week.
This week. They say a date yet, or they're biting their lip?
I don't know. Maybe tomorrow, I guess.
Well,
Somebody's here.
we'll find out soon about that. Maybe that will address the problem. Yakuza, if you look at the ROH stream I did earlier this afternoon, you'll see that all the belts there worked. But you'll also notice that one thing they have in common is you have to use either the center plate. You can use a blank one and then put your image on top of the plate. And then you don't need the side plates if you do that. Or you can use the side plates and not have the center plate, and then you can still make that work. But you have to have plates at one point or the other, and then the images will all work. So hopefully that'll help you in the meantime. Because that's what I'm doing. All right, back to Raw. We got to wrap this thing up here. MVP turned on Bobby Lashley. They had to make him babyface.
Well, this is the second time that MVP has turned on Bobby Lashley, because he turned on him in TNA as well when they were part of the Beatdown Clan.
Yep. And some people just learn the hard way, I guess. I guess Bobby thought he turned a new page and he'd be good for that. But they're
Well,
going to
he
try
thought
and...
the writers would-
Yeah, they're going to try and push Omos, and I get it. He's a big old boy, and you want him to be your monster, but man, oh man, I see him on TV, and it's like, I got to go make a sandwich. I don't.
And he desperately needed somebody to talk for him. Big
I
time.
think with them,
Yeah. And wrestle for him, too. That's kind of the problem.
Well, yeah.
He's terrible.
well, I've seen him wrestle. I've seen him wrestle in handicap matches on main event. He's pretty good.
Omos?
Hey, he's a beast.
He's a beast, but I ain't seen him do anything that looked pretty good yet. I mean, he was at Mania and stuff. I think if you're going to look good, that'd be a good time to do it.
I mean, they killed that feud with AJ Styles early.
No, good, because AJ don't belong in the ring with that guy. There's no... AJ's a top-tier wrestler, man.
Yeah, if you can't have a good match with AJ Styles,
Especially with the size difference. I mean, he'll make you look good. Look what he did with The Undertaker in his 50s. Anyway, Queen Zelina turned and attacked Carmella, and this is the problem with the women's division right now. They have no tag team division. They keep putting these girls together and breaking them up a few weeks later. There's no camaraderie where you feel I mean, you look at the Hart Foundation back in the day. There was a bond there. They were just tag team partners for such a long period of time. They were like brothers. If Bret Hart would have turned on the Anvil or vice versa, that would have been huge. Because they were so together so long, you just never would really expect this team to break up. Just like Demolition, Axe and Smash. They never turned on each other because you believed that they were a team. They weren't looking for individual titles, just going to focus on tag team. And they don't have that in the women's division because every other week, the team of the month is already breaking up with each other.
Hey, Rhea Ripley's supposed to turn heel.
Yeah, she kind of did.
Damian Priest and Edge.
Yakuza, yeah, the 2K19 series didn't have that problem, and that's one of the things about 2K that's so glorious. They always find a new release title to have problems that they never had in the past. It's like, if it wasn't broken before, why is it broken now? You did it right in the past. And then when it's brought to their attention, like this one is with the belts this year, it shouldn't be a hard fix, but here we are, going on 5 weeks after release? So, there's that. Don't know what to say. But I think the women's tag team division just won't ever mean anything at this point because they're not building a team to be a tag team that wants to like the New Day. They focused on the tag team titles. Yeah, they've had world title runs between two of their individuals, but the main thing is they are the longest reigning tag team champions, and they focus on those tag team belts, number one. Women don't have any team that can say that. Name one.
No. And it's been horrible since they even made the titles. It's always been a makeshift tag team. And and then they made tag team titles for the women in NXT.
Yeah.
Like, there's not...
You don't have enough tag teams to warrant it.
Exactly. It's almost like they just made the belts to give a tag team because they're women that they don't really plan on giving the singles titles to. So here, at least we're going to give you that you feel like you're a champion.
Well, I'll take it a step further. I think they only have the tag team titles to foster a singles feud when you turn on each other. Because that's all that's happening.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just a machine to get this individual's match out of it. You're not using it to develop tag teams at all. So I don't know. I'm just kind of disappointed in that.
And the whole booking was weird. If you look at it, was the champions who were faces against Rhea and Liv, who were the faces for a contenders match, and it was the two heel teams that were supposed to wrestle, but they didn't get to because Carmella and Zelina broke up. Which, did anybody care?
And therein lies the problem. If nobody cares, all right. Austin Theory and the Usos defeated RK Bro and Finn Balor via pinfall. I guess Austin had to get a win sooner or later, right? He's been laying down a lot, counting lights. I'm okay with it. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible for the match for what it was.
No.
But
and Vince, he may be a little out of touch, kind of like, Joe Biden is in the world. But at the same time, I think he still has an idea of recognizing talent that can be superstar level at some point down the road. Might be like Drew McIntyre. It might take another 10, 15 years to see it. But we'll find out. I mean, I personally think LA Knight is a better choice to be pushing at this point in time, plus his age and everything else. I don't really care for LA Knight's little catchphrase, which is basically a condensed ripoff of Stone Cold Steve Austin. A lot of his mannerisms, for that matter, are also, in my opinion, a ripoff of Austin. But that said, I think he's a good in-ring performer. I think he has a good look. I liked him in NWA very much. We'll see.
Yeah, and Austin Theory's got something. It's not like he doesn't have anything.
Yeah,
like,
I don't dislike him.
Omos.
I don't dislike him, which a lot of the guys they've shoved down our throats, I did. But with this guy, it's like, all right, I'm going to give him a chance. I'll give him some time. You don't make a souffle in 5 minutes. You have to let it do its thing.
No, well, certainly. And I mean, and people complain WWE doesn't create new stars, so at least they are trying. You know what I mean? Like,
and
that's
then
how I look at it, I guess.
Yep, I agree. And then the last match of the night, the Street Profits defeated the Alpha Academy via pinfall. Sure. I'm good with that. Again, I really didn't watch the Street Profits at all until Mania, and I was blown away with a couple of the spots they pulled off. And that one in particular, the off-the-shoulders blockbuster, that got me out of my chair. So at this point in time, if you can do that, you've done something.
Yeah, Montez Ford has got, like, I think he could be a good singles wrestler eventually. But like I think you said, don't just break the team up just to break them up. Like, you know what I mean? But I know that's how WWE would do stuff. But he just has something. He's got that ability like Bianca Belair. Of course, they're married, so I guess that would make sense. But
yeah,
maybe we'll end up doing something with them two together. But
let's see. We've got Q's over here booking AJ Styles against Stone Cold. Well, again, that's somebody else who could give Stone Cold a good match at this point in time and help carry him through the parts that he can't get through. I think we did perfect with Stone Cold at Mania. That's it. Let him go. That's the way. He had his Undertaker Mania moment. That's the one you want to ride out on. Oh, and by the way, whatever happened with Never Say Never? Undertaker did not show up at Mania.
he's got to say that, though, because...
No, I think that was a deliberate swerve to throw people off the Cody scent.
It could have been, but at the same time, he's got that relationship with Vince. I think I joked one time. I said, if Vince called him today and said, you got to be in a house show in the middle of bum F nowhere,
yeah,
you know, he would do it. So, but, you know, you do never say never with Undertaker. You do never know. But I could also see what you're saying, where that kind of just to get off that Cody scent just a little bit.
What I loved about that moment is when he made that quote, when he made that statement, the crowd didn't just cheer. They exploded with the word, oh, like they all got the reference, like, oh, shit, he's going to come back at Mania. And then he didn't.
Yep.
So, but it was good for throwing. And again, when Seth got in the ring and waiting for his opponent, the lights went out. Well, when the lights go out like that, could it be Bray Wyatt? Yep, that would fit. Could it be The Undertaker? Yep, that would fit. Could it be Cody?
Yep.
Sure, why not? We don't know what Cody's coming out to in the WWE. You still had the element of we don't know, which is hard to pull off in today's society with the internet and everything going on out there. And they did it, and they did it well.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, I'll admit for a split second, I was like, Vince is right. Holy cow. Bray Wyatt's coming on. But then I just took a second or two. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Just wait a bit.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. I was hyped. I'm on the edge of the chair. Come on, do it. Pull the trigger. Cody can come out on Monday. Come on. Ah, shit, Cody.
But Cody got a very good ovation.
He got a huge pop. Bigger than I could have imagined. Especially when everyone pretty much knew it was going to be him. Yeah, there were a couple of little twists and turns thrown at you that maybe it'll be this, maybe it'll be that. But did anyone really not think it was going to be Cody? Even with the other two names as possibilities, if you were going to break it down into which one do you think it'll be that shows up, you'd probably say it was like 45, 50% Cody, and then the other two would split 25-25.
Probably about right. I mean, the fans were starting to chant Cody's name too right away. It's like, I think that, you know. But it's like I said, you know, he got a good reaction on Raw. He got a good reaction at WrestleMania. Let's see how long it lasts.
Yeah, that's going to be good times. I'll tell you what. And again, the rose falls off the bloom falls off the rose pretty quickly. I think with something like that.
Yes.
I've never seen Cody, and I'll tell you what. The Monday night promo he did wasn't bad, you know. And I believe the tears were real. It wasn't an act necessarily. I think he really did get choked up in that. And it's a good story that they're going with, that he's doing it for the memory of his dad. That's as good as it gets, right? I just don't know. And I mean, yeah, they're going to put the belt on him. I'd have almost zero, barring God forbid an injury. I don't think there's a chance in hell that's not part of the deal that he's coming back to be their champion for some period of time. I just don't care. It's not like I'm not going to be invested in his character enough that I'm going to be a Cody guy, you know. And again, I'm sure he seems like a really cool guy to talk to. Like, you know, if he was your next door neighbor, you'd definitely want to have a beer. He just doesn't, you know, he doesn't have that presence that, and you look at him, and he's a great athlete, he's in phenomenal shape, but his dad, who was a big pudgy guy, he just had that whole thing, man. I'm a son of a plumber, man, and I wine and dine with kings and queens and eating my pork and beans. And man, he just sucked you in, and that personality.
Yeah, I don't think Cody has quite that. He's got some of his dad in him, but not.
I don't see it.
Not to that level, and it's just like, and how are they going to play the story if they keep it going on with that? Like, and is Cody going to win the title his first match that he gets the title match at? Or are they going to do it where maybe he wins by count out?
Yeah, I think we go to like Payback and then, or whatever the pay-per-views between now and SummerSlam are, and I think he works his way into a title match picture, ends up not winning it through some chicanery, gets a rematch, and then probably at SummerSlam would be my guess.
Oof.
Or they could be building for a year out and working towards next Mania. It's another possibility.
Which is true, especially if they don't know if The Rock. Not sure how it's going to play out. But, I mean, Cody did have his first match. I saw the dark match on YouTube. He wrestled Kevin Owens in the dark match after the show.
And I'm sure that was a good match because you got two guys that can go.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Owens did the Young Bucks spot. He gave him a super kick, and he did the muscle pose.
Oh, he did the Young Bucks muscle pose? Oh,
yes.
I got it. Oh, my God. That's beautiful. That is so cool. Yeah. I'll tell you what, the one spot that I actually liked in Mania was when Cody did the Stardust.
Oh, yes.
With the hands, and then he kind of threw it to the side. He's like, fuck that. I was like, yep, that's what I'm talking about. But to acknowledge it and bring it back and say, by the way, we ain't doing this no more. I don't know if you saw I don't know if you saw the post-Mania scrum that he did with the reporters. It went about an hour long. And,
yes, I did.
Yeah, and they were mentioning that. And he's like, I was a little mad at myself when I did it. I just got caught up in the moment. But one of the things we did talk about before I, came on to WWE is that I'm not going to be Stardust again. And then there I am doing Stardust. And it's like, but it just felt right in the moment. And I guess I'm the only person. I liked Stardust. I like that best of anything he's done. Call me crazy.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I don't know. I guess I was indifferent about it.
Yeah, it had personality.
But, I think just people thought, he's just, it's just a different kind of version of his brother.
Yes.
It was.
It was. It complimented it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Curious to see.
I thought the entrance was great. I thought the moves were great. I thought the way the star was painted on the hands when you bring it together and then boom, his face comes through it. I just liked it. And I guess I'm the only one, though. He sure as hell didn't.
Well, I don't know. To me, Cody's, and then maybe it's the AEW in me that I've seen from him, but he's more of a heel to me. He's just got that heel persona more to me. But
Jamon Scott says he liked Stardust in a weird sort of way himself. And I would agree with a weird sort of way, yes.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it was just like, I don't know. It'd be very, like I said, very curious to see because I just know how WWE fans just at WrestleMania week, so they cheer everybody. Maybe not so much Ezekiel, poor Ezekiel, but because I have to admit, I did take a second look like, who the hell is Ezekiel?
Oh, I recognized him right away when he walked down the ring, and I was because the eyes and nose on him, the beard might have hit the chin and all that stuff, but the eyes, nose, and cheek line was unmistakable. Plus, he didn't cut his hair different. I mean, if he would have buzzed his hair down a bunch, then he would have looked different. But I knew right away who it was. But then I'm looking at the outfit he's wearing, and I'm like, oh, God, now what the hell are they going to do? And then they did.
And if you didn't see that, Roman Reigns did come out actually at the end.
Oh, he came out. Wait a minute. On Raw?
Yeah. Yes. Yep. That was the last promo.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I did see that. Yes. I was falling asleep by that time because, my God.
And it looks like he's just going to carry two belts around is the way it looks like.
I hope not. I really hope they're going to come out with a... They're due for a new world title. And for the love of God, make it a world title. You're trying to take everything else that you can get your hands on from AEW. Well, maybe take a lead from them and make it a world championship and don't just stick your logo all over the damn middle of it.
True. But, they try to make something for merchandise purposes, too, because they sell those belts. And
They
do
sell those
the
belts? Yeah, but you're going to tell me that belt, first off, belt collectors not 14-year-old kids for the most part. Okay, you're looking at anywhere from $250 to $400 for a belt. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know there's people that got like 15 belts snapped up on their walls and stuff, and more power to you. I like the belts personally because, again, it is a form of artwork. I mean, the people that created these things, whether it's Reggie Parks or what have you, the names are synonymous in the industry. However, that said, these things are not only works of art, but parts of history for wrestling fans. Because you can look at a belt and you think of who held that version of that belt, and it comes with a time frame. So I get people spending, it would be like spending money on a painting. Same logic. But that said, I ain't going to give a rat's ass who held the belt that has nothing in the middle of it except the W. That's it. There's no art to it. It doesn't look good. I wouldn't want it. You can look at all the Winged Eagle. That's a piece of artwork. You can look at the one that was right after that, which was the solid round plate. That's a piece of artwork. Going back to the first silver title that Hogan held after the green belt was gone. Even the big green belt. I mean, again, this is history, and it's a form of art. Even the spinner belt, which I hate to hell. It was a form of art. It was ugly, but it was a form of art. Big JH not feeling well. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding. Ugh. Well, I don't know how everybody else lives, but I know where I live here. A lot of weather changes. It's real nice one day, then it's snowing the next, and then it's raining, and it's cold, and it's warm. It's like
well, living in Florida, that's what we call the last month and the next 2 months. We come out of the cold weather, and we do get cold weather in Florida. People don't believe that if they've never been here.
Oh, yeah.
We get legitimate cold weather. This year we didn't get much of it, maybe a total of a week or two at best. But then when we came out of it, we had 80 degrees for like 14 days in a row, and everyone figured, okay, winter's done. Then, boom, there comes that cold snap again. We got 3 days in the upper 30s overnight, getting into the high 60s, and it just kicks everybody's ass because you weren't ready for it anymore.
Oh, for sure.
So,
but overall, I was disappointed in the Raw. Too bad you expect decent things, and then if your only shocker was Veer, which was advertised for him to debut, and Ezekiel, that was it. Like, no, it was underwhelming. After the Cody segment, and the Edge Damian Priest segment was kind of interesting, with it playing with the fans a little bit. And hearing the fans chanting they're losers, congratulations.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to. Oh, what's Jamon got here? Jamon loved the winged eagle belt. Was the best to him. What's this? Hold on a second.
Yeah,
he got to meet Bret Hart when he was holding the belt, so he got to actually touch the belt.
That's cool.
Right after the win, after he beat Yoko at Mania 10. That's right. Then what was it, Mania 11 that he lost it, and then Hogan took it back and all that crap?
Well, I thought Hogan won the title at WrestleMania 9.
Oh, 9. Sorry, it was 9. That's right. A year earlier. That's right.
Yeah, WrestleMania 10 was the Bret Hart Yokozuna and then Lex Luger Yokozuna when they
Yep.
had
Yep. And then Owen beat Bret in the opening match.
Yep, that is correct.
There you have it. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. D-Train, thanks for being here. Big JH, thanks for being here in the studio. I think we're going to wrap things up, give everybody, including myself, a chance to go check out and see what's happening in the world of AEW, because I actually like watching that program. And
yes, I actually put mine on DVR a little bit because it just got to the Joe match. So I was like, oh, yep, I want to see this. So.
I'm about 30 minutes in, which means I can start to fast forward through anything I don't want to watch and save myself a little bit of time that way. So we'll keep up on these stories that we talked about earlier tonight. Sonny's toxicology results, when they come out, we will get that brought out here on the next edition of What's News. By then, we'll also know what happened on AE Dynamite. We can talk about that as well. Hopefully, you guys, if you haven't already checked out the ROH stream that we did here on this channel using 2K22, I liked it. It was a good one, and most of it was simmed. It went well. The first time I've simmed a card on 2K22 that I was actually happy with. So check it out. See what you think. Post comments below. Let me know. Make sure you click in the like button. That helps us a lot to get this out in front of other people, and I do appreciate it. We continue to grow every day. We're picking up a couple of subs here and there. Thank you guys for what you do to help with that. You can see that we have the ability to talk with you guys on the Twitter machine. So there you see the address at One Nation Network. It's been up there on the whole night long, so hopefully you guys join us there as well. I try to post a lot of stuff up there as well as a heads up when we are going to go live. Usually give you anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour's notice there, so that maybe you can join us for the live streams, because it's always more fun when there's chat going on. All right, you got any other plans besides AEW tonight, D-Train?
No, just the only last thing I would say to people is, for if anyone didn't see the Impact show over the weekend in Dallas, they are going to be replaying some of the matches on Impact tomorrow night. So I'll be very curious to see it with the Young Bucks, or not the Young Bucks, Briscoes versus the Good Brothers. And there's Ultimate X match and a couple of other matches on there. But nope, it's just going to be AEW Dynamite for tonight.
All right, well, I'm going to look forward to that Impact.
Action.
I'm going to look forward to that Impact show as well. And like I said, they're going to be coming to where I'm working right now in the middle of next month for back-to-back nights of TV tapings. So I'm super excited about the fact that I'll actually get to see it live, and hopefully maybe you can get to talk to some of the guys and girls. It'll be a fun time, so we'll see what happens there. All right, buddy, you have a good night.
Yep, you too, sir.
And we'll catch up soon. As for everybody else, I want to thank you guys as well for being part of the stream. Little update here real quick. I got my mug. But here's the problem. I love this mug. It's awesome. Really came out great. Got the Nation Network thing on there. Let me get a little more light here. So now you can see it better. And I've already used it for coffee tonight, and it works like a charm. It's got a little wedged bottom to it right here, so it's great. I love it. Here's the problem, though. I didn't get any credit for the sale, and I'm trying to figure out what's up with that. Jamon, have a good night, buddy. So basically, to go through Streamlabs and for me to collect any of the profits from the sales, they want bank account information and all this other stuff. I'm not doing that. I just do not trust. For those of you that know, Sony PlayStation got hacked about 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was. Everyone's credit card information was exposed. I'm certainly not going to trust Streamlabs with that kind of information, my bank account, Social Security, whatever else they want it. No, not happening. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to find a distributor or somebody who does coffee mugs, somebody who does T-shirts locally at a reasonable price. I'm just going to do it the Jim Cornette way. I'm going to make my own product or have them make my own product. I'll do all my own shipping. And then if anybody wants to buy stuff, you can order it directly through me, through PayPal. And we're just cutting out all the middle people there, because while I'm really excited about this, it doesn't make sense for me to have you guys go out and buy it, and then I don't get any of the credit for it, because part of this is to raise money so that I can put it back into the channel and make the product better, which is really the end goal here. Because I know costs are coming up. They're around the corner. All my machinery is getting to that point where it's dated. It's getting old. As you guys know who've been following the channel, the PS4 gave me a heart attack a few weeks back. I don't know how much more life I have with this thing, and I love it to death. My PS4 Pro, it has given me hours and hours and hours of entertainment, and I will miss it when it's gone. But you can't even just go out and buy a PS5, as everybody knows, man. They're not in existence. You'll find a white elephant a lot sooner. So, anyway, I'm hoping to have more information on shirts, and I want to go with the mugs again because I love this mug. It is my favorite thing right now. I'll be drinking coffee on these streams a lot just because I want my mug. So look for that to come in the near future. I know we keep talking about it. I don't want you guys to think that I'm not moving forward on that. I definitely am, because I know people have asked me about it in the past. We'll see how it does. I'm not going to get a lot of inventory early on because I don't want to get stuck with it. But I'll make sure I have enough to cover whatever orders come through. So I guess that's as good as it can get, right? All right. Well, everybody, enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully, if you're going to do what I'm going to do, go watch some AEW Dynamite. I don't think you can go wrong with that. They generally give us something to cheer about. I know I enjoy their program on a regular basis. So in the meantime, once again, I want to thank D-Train and Big JH for joining me here. And know that we'll be back and do this again in the very near future when we bring you more of What's News. Until then, so long, everyone. Have a great night. See ya.